Hello everyone, my name is Heidi Durant, and today I want to talk to you about the culturally relevant, communication-intensive phenomenon that I have chosen regarding the phrase "all lives matter" and why it is an invalid expression in the United States. According to blacklivesmatter.com, the BLM movement was developed by three black women named Alicia Garza, Patrice Collars, and Opal Tometi, who were outraged over the killing of Trayvon Martin in 2013. The movement was meant to take a stand against black people being killed time and time again, specifically by police officers, and receiving little to no justice. Black Lives Matter BLM is a movement meant to communicate the importance of black lives in a country dominated by systemic racism. Once the Black Lives Matter phrase became recognized, mainly white conservative Americans became offended by the expression. Well, why don't all lives matter? Many would argue. My research question asks, why are mostly conservative white Americans so offended by the idea of Black Lives Mattering? The ideology that white people are on top of the racial hierarchy is still embedded in our systems today. Racial inequalities are still heavily predominant in our American society. From the high level of incarcerated black people to the unbalanced education system for children of color, black people have never been prioritized in America like white people have. These critics feel offended over the phrase BLM because they feel as though they're stating that only Black Lives Matter, which isn't the case. Black Lives Matter is meant to uplift black lives in order to promote equality amongst all races, and not to say that anyone is above anyone else. The topic of Black Lives Matter movement is largely relevant today because black people are continuously being targeted, murdered by police, and are still faced with racism and discrimination in America. With recent protests for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, it is abundantly clear how relevant this topic is today. Because All Lives Matter is a phrase currently used against BLM supporters, I felt compelled to inform and educate people on why this expression is invalid. The ideology behind All Lives Matter must be critiqued in order to reveal the harmful sides of the argument for people who are uninformed or ignorant. One of the methods to critique All Lives Matter is the guilt redemption cycle, which means that because people feel some sort of guilt over the countless deaths of black lives, they must proclaim that indeed all lives matter. But in reality, all lives are not treated equally. All Lives Matter supporters may believe that all lives are treated equally because of the abolishment of slavery, but that does not mean that racism does not exist in America. Examples of inequalities may include racial discrimination, higher unemployment rates, and racial wage gap. Today, we've talked about the importance of Black Lives Matter and why All Lives Matter is harmful to the movement, presented the question of why BLM is offensive to some, and used a theoretical lens to present a further explanation of that question. Thank you for watching.